Me. I'm a tad under the weather. Looking forward to getting better in a couple of days. So, forgive me. You may have to manage my voice like that for now. I hope that in the course of the show, I'll get better. Good evening and welcome to the Evening Rush. And in the hot topic today, on the hot pally today, or the pally today, we'll be looking at, of course, we cannot begin the show today without looking at what happened in a town hall meeting yesterday, or probably just summarizing the Arise TV presidential town hall meeting yesterday. So we'll just sneak a peek at it, and then we'll move quickly to our major conversation of the day. So our conversation today has to do with the pledge of RMK to the people of Nigerians. I'm sure you'll be wondering who is RMK. So that's Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, the presidential candidate for the NNPP, right? So we'll be looking at, so he has this almost 200 pages of promises to Nigerians. I mean, the APC did 80 pages, so he thought he had to double it for them. Give us more assignment. And there are quite interesting takes on that. We'll be looking at them one at the other, especially taking critical look at the aspects or key areas that affects all of us. And I would like to note that whilst we bring all of these candidates or bring their representatives to x-ray their promises to Nigerians or their manifesto or what they have to say to Nigerians, it's very important that you take note of all of this, because whether we like it or not, it is important that we put into consideration what the people who have promised to, who are coming forth to contest to lead us have promised to do. Because if you look at the situation very critically, you realize that our problem seems to be the same. But let's look at the tactics of which each of these candidates have promised to handle these problems, right? So the approach to the problems is very important to take a look at, because the problem is the same. We have the same health issue, we have the same education issue, we have the same security issue, we have same issue, and we've had these issues over and over again. Even though the health issue, the security issue seems to have, it keeps upgrading from one level to the other, but it still remains that the fact still remains that we've been having these issues over time. So it's important that we pay keen, rapt attention to how these candidates have promised to deal with these issues, and then I'm sure that would help, inform you before you get into the polls. That's a better way to put it. Good evening. My name is Precious, and welcome to the Voice of the People FM. And this is the Evening Rush. And on the Hot Pally this evening, I've told you, and I will be looking at, taking a wrap at what happened at the town hall meeting yesterday, and then of course we'll now go into the crux of the matter, which is the manifesto of the NNPP presidential candidate. But that'll be after this break. Stay with us. Featuring sound and informed guests across various sectors that discuss matters arising on Hot Topic Pie.
What was the rate of inflation, and then what was the exchange rate?
Intense conversations, critical analysis.
What is wrong with us 200 million people? We can't even give ourselves.
We sometimes disagree.
When we say our GDP is not an oil of it.
To agree. On Hot Topic Pally, Monday to Friday, 6:15 p.m. to 9 p.m. 90.3. Voice of the People FM. Lagos. Now you have a voice. All right, Lagos, this is the Evening Rush, 90.3 Voice of the People FM. My name is Precious, and yes, I said before, once more. So, yes, we'll be looking at what transpired in the town hall meeting yesterday. So, so Arise TV did hold a town hall meeting yesterday, and a lot did transpire. But I don't want to go to the nitty-gritty. I'd just like to look at the absentees and the reason they gave for not turning up for the event. So I have with me here a detailed, I wish I can read it out very clearly. I just wish I can. Yes. So I have with me here a detailed press release by the All Progressive Congress, the Tinubu Shetima Presidential Campaign Council, stating exactly why their candidates couldn't make it to the the event yesterday. I'd like to take a look at it. Let me see. I hope I can. Okay, sorry, just give me a second. Okay, so looking at it now. So I have to take just quickly read through this personally so that we understand exactly what we're dealing with before I introduce my guest to you. So the APC presidential candidate, this is Tinubu Shettima Presidential Campaign Council, explains a candidate's absence at a Rice TV debate. So the letter reads, or the press release reads thus. It says the APC presidential candidates in the forthcoming 2023 presidential election, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, did not attend the presidential debate organized by Arise TV on Sunday, November 6, 2022, for the following reasons. And one, they said, firstly, many radio and television networks in Nigeria have indicated interest to host such debates, and out of defense to other TV and radio stations, our candidates will not be making selective appearances in some networks whilst ignoring others. As president of Nigeria, by the special grace of God, he intends to treat all persons and businesses fairly and equally. Right? And then secondly, they stated the busy and hectic campaign schedules of Asiwaju Bola Tinubu will not permit him to honor all such invitations by different radio and television networks. Hence a decision for him not to start with the TV station and later ignore others. And I read further. Thirdly, our candidate had long before now realized the importance of speaking directly to Nigerians, and shortly after unfolding his action plan as president, embarked on town hall meetings, beginning with his interaction with the business community and other stakeholders in Kano, followed by the town hall meeting and presentation by experts last week in Lagos. Tomorrow, he will be interacting with agro and commodity groups in Minna, Niger State. So that's to say that he's doing his own fair share of reaching out to people directly. Whilst we thank Arise TV for the invitation, we want to assure Nigerians that we shall continue to hold these debate groups and Nigerians in high esteem. Nigerians will hear from our candidates loud and clear through other forums. Lastly, out of profound respect for Nigerians, we urge all our party structures and supporters at the grassroots to continue to organize town hall meetings to educate Nigerians on the action plan of our candidates, as we believe a grassroots approach to reach Nigerians will also be more profound. So by this letter, or by this press conference, it summarizingly means that you may not be expecting to see the presidential candidates of the All Progressive Congress in subsequent debates, because there are way too many, and based on his schedule and the content of this press conference, he may not make more of this debate. So I'd like to hear your thought and reaction on that. I know that you can't wait to talk, and I'll also let you know the place of the Electoral Act in this, and because I do remember very well, sometime in October, yes, about 28th of October thereabouts, when the Independent National Electoral Commission said it does not have the power to force any candidate contesting in an election to attend a debate. In fact, the commission also declared the bimodal voter registration system, which is the BVAS, as its most important asset, and as such, it won't entrust its storage with any individual or institution. Remember, then there was an issue with whether storing it, okay, since they felt the CBN was compromised, whether storing it in CBN or not storing it in CBN and all that. So that's when the INEC chairman, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, stated this. And then during, then he was having a quarterly consultative meeting with media executives in Abuja. So he said, disclosing the commission will print about 500 million ballot papers for the over 93 million voters that will participate in the 2023 election. He insisted that there is no going back on the BVs and all of that. But most importantly, what he stated by this was that he cannot, or INEC cannot force any, as much as their availabilities, or the Electoral Act may have made it available or possible for people to participate, or candidates to participate in debates or such debates, but that INEC does not have a place to make it compulsory or force any candidate to participate in such debates. And then since the All Progressive Congress has come to say that, look, because of the way these debates are way too many, we do not expect our candidates to attend for that debate. Especially, he cannot attend and most times, just to be fair, most times it's usually media stations that actually host these debates in most occasions, right? So he cannot attend to Media House A and then not attend the function by Media House B. So it will look like, it will look lopsided. So understanding that based on their schedule or his schedule, that he may not be able to attend all of this, it's better that you do not expect too much from this candidate. So as usual, I'd like you to be part of this conversation. Is 0700 903 903 903. I did apologize earlier. I don't know if you did hear me. I know I'll be sounding a bit quite different from my usual, right? Forgive me. I'm tired under the weather. I said that before and I'll say that again. I'm a little bit under the weather. I'm hoping to get better in a couple of days. So let's get to the point. What do you make of some presidential candidates' absenteeism in such debates, especially understanding that this particular election seems to be one of the most important elections to Nigerians. For some reasons, it's an election that has created more awareness by Nigerians, and Nigerians are more interested in it. It's as if Nigerians have more awakening and more consciousness of the fact that I think we really need to be involved in the political process or the politicking process or the process of electioneering. So understanding the interest or more of the rapt attention of Nigerians in politics this period, what do you make of a presidential candidate saying, explaining why he may not just future or not just apologizing about not meeting up in a particular debate, but making future excuses, making excuses for future absenteeism as to why he may not be able to attend any further event. I'd really love your sincere thoughts and reaction on this. It's 0700 903 903 903. That's the number to call. 0700 903 903 903. It's a beautiful Monday afternoon. I'm glad that it wasn't a rainy day, because if you were a rainy day plus the way I'm feeling, I'm sure it will be very disastrous to me. So I'm glad it's been quite dry and clement weather. 0700 903 903 903 is a number to call. If you want to do a text message, a WhatsApp message rather, you could do that to 0700 903 9039. 0700 903 9039. If you're watching on YouTube, you can also jump into that WhatsApp number, because most of you watching on YouTube are watching from the diaspora. So it is 0700 903 9039. That is 0700 903 9039. But if you want to jump on the conversation right away on our live chat, you can also drop your live chat on the YouTube platform. We're going to take your conversation, read out your messages right there. All right, let's see if we can quickly jump on our first call. Hello, good evening to you.
Hello, good evening.
Hey, good evening. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Wesley Amobi. I'm calling from Lagos Island.
Mr. Wesley from Lagos Island. Wesley, you said?
I'm calling from Lagos Island.
All right, very quickly. So let me hear your thoughts. What do you think of the excuse? What do you make of the excuse that the APC have, given so far? Hello, can you hear me? All right. Okay. Apologies. All right. So it's 0700 903 903 903. You want to do also WhatsApp messages 0700 903 9039. Hello, good evening to you.
Hello, good evening.
Yes, a very good evening to you. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Balogun. I'm calling from Ilopeju.
Go ahead. Let's hear your thought and reaction.
Yes, my thought is, this is the same way when President Muhammadu Buhari wants to start from the first tenure of his campaign, which Bola Tinubu was campaigning for him in Southwest here. It's the same way they are doing, it's the same way he's doing now. All these promise, all this attitude to the government, it's going to be the same thing. Even though they vote Tinubu or they manage themselves getting there, it's going to be the same thing. Who is questioning Buhari now for not fulfilling the promise that he makes to Nigeria? Who is questioning Buhari? That means who is going to question anybody that is going to be president in 2023? Now, even though if they went another way, who is questioning President Buhari now for the stage why Nigeria is like this today? So anybody can go to the presidency and do whatever and get away with it, and we will start asking the new one that what are you going to do?
But considering the fact that debates are democratic rights and not things that should be forced on the individuals, what do you make of it? Because even the INEC chairman stated categorically that debates are merely democratic rights and nobody can be forced to attend debates.
Okay, let me tell you what is right. What I made from it, even though it is not in constitution to speak with your people or to attend the debate, but because it's morally okay that I will go and meet my people, even though it's not constitution. You have to be there.
And morality is relative. Shebi, you know what is moral to you cannot be moral to me now. Shebi, you know that morality is relative.
I know. Look, my sister. We are important. We must be important to the aspirants.
Okay.
We must be important. Don't give excuse or not. Even though it's not constitutional, you have to come and meet them and tell them what like now. Our president, if anything happens to us, our president will leave us and travel out.
Okay.
So that's what I want to bring to you. Even though Tinubu is the president tomorrow, it's going to be like this. We are not going to see our president again. It is going to be an excuse on an excuse. It's not going to face the reality till the end of his tenure too.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. All right, Lagos, I'm waiting to take your call. I'll take more of your calls and reaction very shortly. I'm due for a break. When I come back, we'll take more of your thoughts and reaction, and then we'll jump into the next conversation that we have this evening. Just keep those calls and messages coming in. It's 0700 903 9039 for your WhatsApp messages, and then for your calls is 0700 903 903 903. I'll be right back.
This is your number one radio station at VOP 90.3 FM.
We don't die for where we did. Now so promise and fail. Papa, mama, brother, sister. This Lagos must work for all of us. Everybody down for Eko.
Oh yes, Lagos people. Papa, mama, sister, brother, auntie, plus including uncle them. Better don't land for Lagos State gidigba. Money will be for Lagos State, then go use them for Lagos State. Wella, no more Baba Sope. They no go chop Lagos State money. Nobody go pocket Lagos State. Then go take and build Lagos State, build road, build hospital, build houses, and now only one man fit do this job. His name na Abdulaziz Olajide Adediran Jando. He can't carry one obonge person as the deputy governor. Her name na Funke Akindele. My people, what do we wait for? Make we vote for light, vote for change. No be the kind change where they vote before. This one na the original change. How Amumu don't do. Pay the pay.
Everybody down for Eko.
The evening rush with pressures. Let me bring you a reminder of hot topical conversations of the day.
Even state investors. As you're saying, you've not followed the news as well.
Critical analysis of hot and trending topics on Hot Topics.
That's enough for a responsible government to take appropriate action.
Politics.
If every president, every governor, every minister, every commissioner took his job seriously, this country would not be where it is.
Economy.
We're not growing in terms of what's happening with the economy.
lifestyle, human angle, and sometimes the unusual. Evening Rush with Precious, Monday to Friday, 6:15 p.m. to 9 p.m. 90.3 Voice of the People FM, Lagos. Now
You have a voice.
And that's exactly what we do here. We give you a voice and we ensure that your voice is heard. 0700 903 903 903. This is Voice of the People FM, where you have a voice to always talk, where we give you the opportunity to hear your thoughts and your opinion is heard. And we are looking at the letter, the press release by the APC Presidential Campaign Council concerning the absenteeism of the absence. Probably speaking plenty grammar. The absence of the presidential candidate and his deputy or his vice to the town hall meeting held by, organized by Arise TV and other civil society organizations yesterday. And we were looking at the reason that was given. I did read out the reason that they gave for not attending. I probably would read it out again because in that press release, they said firstly that many radio stations usually invite them for such meetings, and so it's difficult to actually tell which you will attend and which you cannot attend. And then secondly, that because of the busy schedule of the campaign season, that their presidential candidate and his deputy or his vice are very busy, are quite preoccupied, and may not be able to make it, or it may be difficult for them to honor such invitations because of how busy the election season is. And thirdly, that their candidates had long before now realized the importance of speaking directly to the people. So they've also held their own personal town hall meetings, which they had something like that in the north, right? And they had another with business community in Lagos. They're having another with agro community in Niger State by tomorrow, so that they already know the importance, and they're having their own personal town hall meetings in order to reach out to you Nigerians personally. So if they don't come to those ones that they were invited to by media houses, it does not mean that they are not reaching out to you Nigerians. And so they also extended the apology to Arise TV and explained that it wasn't deliberate, for them to be absent. And then lastly, that they respect the fact that, that's just about it. So it's out there. And my question this evening is, what do you make of this press conference, or what do you make of the fact that the presidential candidates of the All Progressive Congress have by this letter made you known that they may not likely be attending further or future appearances, because most of these appearances are way too many, and considering all of the reasons that they've given so far, it may not be so easy for them to be attending this conference. So what do you make of it? And also understanding that even the INEC chairman himself, Mr. Mahmoud Yakubu, stated clearly that debates are democratic rights. So people who indulge in debates or involve in debates do that out of their own volition, just like you have the right to want to vote and the right not to vote. Voting is not compulsory, and that's why every voting year we have voters apathy, if I have to say that, because you have more number of people out of all the numbers of registered voters, you have more people who didn't vote than those who voted. That's what we've been having. Because why? Because voting is just a democratic right, so it's not compulsory. That's why you have the right to say, no, I will not cast this, I will not go for election, I will not vote, and nobody would put a bullet to your head and say you must go and vote. So considering that is the case, what do you make of this situation? Or would you rather think that Nigeria should grow to a level where each person who's coming to vie for any position should see it worthy of honoring such debates, irrespective of how busy their schedule is? That's the question we're asking this evening. The number to call is 0700 903 903 903. I have a couple of messages here. Femi Bash says, Tinubu has insulted Nigerians too much. He told Nigerians seeking change to shut up. Issue of fake bishops, pastors, Muslim tickets. He does not grant show up for interviews. Bora Nono says, it may not be constitutional but necessary for anyone wanting to occupy a position that requires people's vote to talk and convince the people that will vote them into power. APC rally solely on rigging or vote buying. And what would you say that? You have to say things with facts. And the further says Tinubu only talks in a meeting where he can control. And then Femi Bash says APC holds their own town hall meeting where nobody can ask their candidates questions that they cannot answer. Nigeria is big joke. That's what you are saying. Remember that if you're watching us, if you are listening now and maybe you're about moving out of town, or you have somebody in the diaspora, tell them they can hook up to this conversation via YouTube at Voice of the People FM on YouTube. It is Voice of the People FM on YouTube. That is Voice of the People FM on YouTube, so they can watch this conversation on YouTube. So moving on, I'd like to hear your thoughts and reaction on this conversation. What do you make of it? It is 0700 903 903 903 if you want to call me on a direct call. If you want to send a WhatsApp message, it is 0700 903 903 9. 0700 903 903 9. I take a few messages and then a few voice notes before I jump onto the next conversation. Any president or presidential candidates who will not honor the debate will not be a good leader. The people first. Hello. How can that tell if they're a good leader? How can that be a way to tell if they're a good leader or not? Let's hear this voice note very quickly. I do hope that is related to this conversation. I know that I always tell you to do so.
Good evening, Sister Precious. This is Andrew from Ajawa State. Well, I've been an ardent listener of your program, and I've often tried to call, but I don't know why it's not going. That's why I'm making this voice note. Fine. The media team of the presidential candidate of the APC could have 1,001 reasons why they wouldn't allow him to feature at different media for debate. But in all intent and purpose, for somebody who is vying for the position of a president, even without being told, at least needs to explain some of his policies. Good evening, Sister Precious. This is Andrew from Ajawa State. Well, I've been an ardent listener of your program, and I've often tried to call, but I don't know why it's not going. That's why I'm making this voice note. Fine. The media team of the presidential candidate of the APC could have 1,001 reasons why they wouldn't allow him to feature at different media for debate. But in all intent and purpose, for somebody who is vying for the position of a president, even without being told, at least needs to explain some of his policies to members of the public on how he intends to go about it, and he will be asked questions. It's like we now are going to examine him based on what he would have told us, and at the end of the day we would know, okay, with the way these answers have been provided, are we going for this person or not? It's quite different when he stays back and refuses to honor this invitation. It is not right. I am telling you, it is not right. Okay, let me look at it this way again. He said, he doesn't want to be attending several media interviews and all that. Fine. If I were in the media industry today, we would organize ourselves and come up with what I will call one central interview for all the presidential candidates. Let all these media houses put their heads together and come up with one. And let us see if he would attend or not. I think by then we could have reasons to say, okay, this and that, but let's still give him the benefit of that. But I still insist, for somebody who is vying, it's like, okay, let us put it this way. It's like you want to be employed by an organization and they are calling you for interview and you're saying you're not going to come. How would they take you? You understand? So, no wonder their excuse is tenable. Let the media houses organize themselves together and present one debate and let us see if you would attend or not. Then we know how to forge ahead from you. Thank you. You're doing a good job.
So, when I promise that I'll be taking your messages and your voice notes, I actually do keep to my promise. See, I'm a talk nadu. I'm not one of those your politicians I'll promise and they don't fulfill. I'm someone who keeps to my promise. So, I had to take that message. It was about 3 minutes long, but I had to ensure that I take it. So, Lagos, you're ready to take your calls and messages, right? It's 0700 903 903 903. The Shetima Tinubu campaign organization released a statement as to why their candidates may not be making it to future debates, right? And I did tell you that in that press release, they did mention that first of all, it's because that's way too many of such debates because different media houses will want to host their own debates. And of course, it may not be so possible for one person to meet up all of those appointments. And secondly, because the hectic nature of the campaign season, they are already overwhelmed with other activities. And then thirdly, because they have their own way of reaching out to people. They have been reaching out to the grassroots themselves and to people themselves. So it's not like, it's a do or die thing if I don't come to your own, because me too, I'm reaching out to the grassroots. The important thing now is you Nigerians, so that they are reaching out to you Nigerians. Whether or not they attend to those media houses or not, they are reaching out to you Nigerians. Phone lines are open. It is 0700 903 903 903. That's the number to call. Let's get to hear your thought and reaction. 0700 903 903 903. I did tell you before that the INEC chairman had responded to a similar case as to whether or not it is compulsory or it should be compulsory or mandatory for presidential candidate or for candidates to attend debates. And he had, however, mentioned that that's purely a choice of the candidate to make. So it is nothing that should be compulsory. He said however, that participating, whether or not they participate, should have consequences, right? That you must also understand that the candidates will prefer not to attend in order to avoid making mistakes that will drive voters from them, because some of them deliberately stay away from such debates because they do not want to commit a blunder that will be held against them and eventually cause voters, to run away from them. So that's one of the reasons that the INEC chairman gave as to why people run away from debates. He also said that but moving forward, that people should understand that such debates are things that are purely a democratic right. So people have the right to choose whether or not they want to be involved in such debates. It is 0700 903 903 903. That's the number to call. 0700 903 903 903. If you want to do also WhatsApp message, it is 0700 903 903 9. Presidential candidates Bola Tinubu may be too busy to be attending future debates. That's what that press statement eventually tells us. He may be too busy to be attending debates. All right, I have a few reactions from YouTube. Albaka says the organizers should not allow their representatives to debate on their behalf because they should insist on hearing from the candidates themselves. And then someone else said Arise TV should stop Abati from being a moderator. That's another ball game altogether. Let's not even go there. All right, I missed this call. 0700 903 903 903. That's the number to call. Let's quickly take your thought before we move to our next conversation. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening. Yes, good evening, sir.
Okay, good evening. This is Silas from Solo.
Silas from Solo. Welcome to you, Silas.
Okay, I just want to react to the absence of a Tinubu in the just concluded debate.
Go ahead, please.
So for me, I think the reason is obvious. Because at least in the recent time, he has been committing some blunders now. So I think they have warned him never to attend any debate because of maybe they are afraid of him committing another blunder that even can affect him being elected as a president of this country. So for me, somebody that cannot, there are some of these presidential candidates, they cannot even make it simple, that one correct sentence without reading it from the book. So what they do is just anywhere they want to go to, they will, other people will write something for him, you go and read. That's what has been as campaign. So I think somebody like that is not qualified to be a president of this country. Because when he gets there, other people, he cannot do anything. Other people will be the one leading while he's answering the name. So we don't want such people as president of this country. That's my own take on that.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much. I do appreciate your thoughts.
Please.
Thank you. All right, you are entirely entitled, solely entitled to your opinion. It is 0700 903 903 903. My WhatsApp number is 0700 903 9039. I'd love to hear your thought and reaction on this. Do you actually think that our democracy should grow to the level where it would become the right of the citizens to hear from their candidates, their intending candidate? I mean, their candidates or their intending position holders, if I have to say that. So, do you think we should grow, our democracy should grow to that level where it should no longer be a thing that people should have a choice whether or not to attend? Let it be that, I mean, it is a right, a duty that they owe to Nigerians to attend. Hello, good evening.
Good evening, Lady P. This is Ken from Amu Odafi.
Hi, Ken, you're welcome. You're welcome. Go ahead.
Yeah. I don't know what Nigerians are expecting from Oga Tinubu, Daddy Tinubu. I don't know honestly what we're expecting, what we want him to tell us that he has not told already. He has told Nigerians that he continued from where Buhari stopped. And Buhari never attended any this campaign. We thought it was the Buhari we all knew there. Please mark my word. When he was a military leader, you know. So if this man say he's continuing from where the man stopped, I don't know what else Nigerians want. I had a respected elder from the West the other day saying that they have to support their own. Well, let's all continue to support our own. If there's a word like that. But those that supported Buhari because he's their own, today they are at least the ones I know in Lagos, they are crying because we're still all going to the same market. So if they want this man to continue, now a loaf of bread is 1,000 plus, and he says it's going to continue for where the man stopped. The other time, he used bullion van to carry money from his house. And now, nobody talks about it.
Can we stick to
So thank you. Please. I'm stopping. No, I don't stop. But let's just allow the man be.
Thank you.
I don't stop. Let's just allow him. He said he wants to continue. I want to hear him again. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye, my brother. The way you just told me the bye-bye. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. All right, the number is 0700 903 903 903. 0700 903 903 903. Now, not only did the presidential candidate and the vice of the All Progressive Congress not attend yesterday and then release this letter. It's also nice to inform you that for those of you who may not have known that even the PDP presidential candidate Alhaji Atiku Abubakar did not attend. He sent his vice, who is Dr. Ifeanyi Okowa of who is his vice, to attend on his behalf. And there was a little drama when the vice showed up to speak on his behalf. But let's take this call. Hello, good evening.
Hello, Precious. Good evening.
Good evening. Welcome.
I am Mrs. Tenko. I'm calling from you.
You're welcome. Go ahead, ma'am.
I always love your program.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I like to follow your program. Recently, I noticed you are doing a nice program in the evening like this.
Thank you.
So, I want to react to what you're saying.
Go ahead.
Me, I don't know why Nigerians are still interested in Tinubu's debate, both are people. My own opinion, they don't have any other thing to say Nigerians, and that's why they didn't attend. Like the last caller said, Tinubu has already concluded that they want to follow the step of his father, Buhari. And you notice that during Buhari time, Buhari never attended any debate in Nigeria. He never come out in any social media to make a statement. Instead, he will travel abroad and make a statement. And that's exactly the step Tinubu want to follow. So it's right for Nigerians to shine their eyes. All hands on the desk, looking. Let's shine our eyes. That is the only thing. Let's get our PVC if we know that we want to change. If we don't want to change, let's continue from where they stop. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for your thoughts there. I do appreciate. All right, so we're switching the conversation a bit. Okay, I did tell you that for the PDP, the vice presidential candidate did represent the president, the presidential candidate, and then, of course, the other candidates did attend. We'll be looking at what the candidates said, but because we're looking at moving directly to the manifesto of the NNPP, the new Nigeria's People's Party, NNPP. We want to take a look at the performance of Rabiu Kwankwaso on the debate yesterday. So, all right. So let me quickly take this call and I get back to the conversation. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Yes, good evening. What's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm Amobi. I've called you before, but I don't hear what you're saying well.
Oh, apologies. So go ahead.
About Tinubu and this thing, me, I don't have time for all those one. The one I want to talk is one that happened to my side when election start like this. On the election day, when we come out to vote to the person we want to vote, then the APC waited there, they will tell us, "No, we no vote. That's another party. I should vote only APC. And if we no vote APC, we will go come up for that area." And many land.
What area? What ward? What area and what ward in that area? Let me know. Tell us the place.
The area is Maryland. If you like, not be Maryland, Maryland. In a constant side. When you reach a constant, the place they are calling Elaje Butemeta.
Elaje.
Butemeta.
Mainland.
Mainland.
Okay.
So the time they done a governor election,
you know what? I'm going to bring the official the person who's in charge of voter education and information to INEC. I'm hoping that he will oblige me that he's quite busy this period. But I'm going to bring him to this show. I just do hope that you'll be listening to this show every day, because one of these days I'll bring him so that he would hear you make this complaint and he would give you an answer to your complaint, because these are complaints that he would only have answers to.
Because that's what I'm saying. Even me, I bring my voter's card out. I want to vote, but I show them there. Let me go back to my house. I don't vote anyone again.
And that is so wrong, because nobody should have the right to stop you from exercising your franchise, and nobody should in any way influence your vote. Nobody should tell you that if you don't vote for this person, don't vote. It is wrong. According to the law of the land, it is wrong. It shouldn't be done. So not a problem. I'm sorry about that. Just keep listening to this show. One of those days I'll bring the electoral bodies here. The electoral body here would have to look at that, and then you make your complaint openly to them.
Okay.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you. All right, phone lines are open 0700 903 903 903. This is Evening Rush. My name is Precious, voice of the people, FM 90.3. Now, before we move to the conversation of Kwankwaso's manifesto, so the new Nigerian People's Party NNPP presidential candidate Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso has tackled his counterparts from the All Progressive Congress APC Bola Tinubu for failing to attend the presidential debate in Abuja. So Kwankwaso said the People's Democratic Party PDP presidential ruling mate, which is Governor Ifeanyi Okowa of Delta State, was better than Tinubu. Okowa represented the PDP's presidential candidate. That's what I had mentioned to you earlier. And Atiku Abubakar on the debate that was organized by Arise Television and the Center for Development and Democracy, which is CDD, in Abuja on Sunday. That's just yesterday. And expected at the debate were Peter Obi of the Labour Party, Kwankwaso, Atiku, Tinubu, and the All Progressive Congress APC. But while Atiku, who was absent at the event, sent a representative, Tinubu failed to send. The APC presidential candidate failed to attend or send a representative. So speaking at the event, Kwankwaso said, due to the busy schedule of some presidential candidates, there may be need for their running mates to represent them at events. But according to Kwankwaso, he said no candidates can boast of saying, I will attend all of the events. I mean, remember that's one of the conditions, or one of the reasons the APC had stated in their press release that would be the reason why the candidate may not be even making future appearances in such debates. So according to Kwankwaso, he said no candidates can boast of saying, I will attend all of them. Whichever group that is having this sort of thing should accept the fact that not everybody can attend all of these events. And he says, I think the man sitting here pointing at Ifeanyi Okowa is better than the person who did not come or send a representative at all. And people were like, what kind of table shaking is this one that Kwankwaso is shaking right now? But let's move directly to the manifesto of Kwankwaso. But you can always react to the presidential, the absentees in the presidential town hall meeting. I'd love to take your thoughts and reaction. We're moving the conversation further right now to the promises that Kwankwaso has made to Nigerians in his manifesto that he titled "My Pledges," not pledge. No, it is not "I pledge to Nigeria, my country." This one is "My Pledges to you." That is to you, Nigerians. That's the title of his manifesto, and it's a well-detailed manuscript, even dated, even timed. Right? So in some of this, he actually gave a time limit as to how he would accomplish most of the things he has said he will accomplish. Remember that, over time, we had spoken about the APC presidential manifesto. We also did speak about the PDP. I'll still bring back their spokesperson one at a time. We'll still look at it again. But now let's, get to scrutinize that of the NNPP a little bit. After this break, I'll be right back, Lagos. Please stay with us.
Featuring sound and informed guests across various sectors to discuss matters arising on Hot Topic Pie.
What was the rate of inflation and then what was the exchange rate?
Intense conversations. Critical analysis.
What is wrong with us 200 million people? We can't even give ourselves.
We sometimes disagree.
When we say our GDP is not an oil dominated.
To agree. On Hot Topic Pali, Monday to Friday, 6:15 p.m. to 9 p.m. 90.3. Voice of the People FM. Lagos. Now you have a voice.
Yes, you do have a voice, Lagos. We're moving the conversation straight to the new Nigerian, what's the name of that party again? I just keep forgetting the name. No, I must get it though. No. It is called the New Nigeria People's Party, NNPP. NNPP. That's the name of the party. Okay, so we're talking about the manifesto of the New Nigeria People's Party presidential candidate, Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso. I see my phone line buzzing. Yes, you can keep bringing that call on. We'll take them while we analyze this manifesto. Let's see if we can take one call just quickly before we jump on it. Can you help me quench the volume on your radio set, please?
It's okay now?
It would be nice if you can make it totally dead, but it's fine. Let's talk. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Yes, what's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Mr. Sunday. I live here.
Mr. Sunday. All right, you're welcome. Very quickly, let's hear your thought and reaction.
Well, my reaction is about introduce appearance at every debate and interview. I think it's becoming too available for my liking. You should limit his appearances.
Peter Obi should limit his appearances to events a bit.
Yes, he should limit his appearances to most of all these invitations and debates.
Why are you saying that? You said he's becoming too available for your liking. Why do you say so?
Yes, and because other candidates are now attending and appearing on interviews and radio stations interviews. What I think is what are people talking about them? And by being too available, I think is dropping his rating. So people are so many of his opponents are always watching at his appearances and trying to corner out something they will use against him.
Okay. So do you think that when he makes himself scarce, that they would not have to say more about him?
Well, there's no how there will be no critics. People will still criticize him, but for my own opinion and for my own observation of how things are going, I should suggest he limit his appearances and make himself less available and begin in a way to, speak to Nigerians and talk to people in a more group or organized way, whereby people will really see his, get to understand him more. Unlike what is actually playing out now, because since other candidates, the top candidates are not actually willing to
attend these debates and subject themselves to critical questioning by Nigerian journalists and other individuals. So I suggest he too to not to make himself too available until they agree on a particular date and avenue of platforms whereby the top contenders will be both available, and then give themselves to Nigerians to interview and
all right, thank you. I think I totally understand what you're making. What your point? I totally get your point. I appreciate. Thank you so much. Bottom line is P2B should make himself scarce in some of these debates. He shouldn't be making himself too available anymore.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Okay, of all the problems in the world. Okay. All right. So moving on. I have with me in the house the spokesperson to the NNPP presidential campaign team, even though the council has not been formed yet. I have with me Mr. Ladipo Johnson in the building. Esquire. How can I forget to put the Esquire? Barrister Ladipo Johnson, you're welcome to the studio.
Good evening. Thanks for having me.
Good evening. Thanks for being here. You can't intimidate me with that deep voice. All right. So we're looking at the manifesto of your principal, and can you help us wrap up the thoughts in just summarize what the manifesto states?
Well, basically, thank you very much. The NNPP, Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, finally launched or presented its blueprint to the people of Nigeria last week, Tuesday.
The blueprint is like a textbook.
Exactly. It's very thorough.
I can see.
And I tell you that he had...
You may need to raise that up a little bit so that people who are watching on YouTube can see how voluminous the book is.
Okay, you have people watching.
Yeah, we'll have people watching on YouTube.
So it's, we have the online version anyway. It's going around.
How many pages?
It's actually 152 pages.
152 pages booklets.
And basically the reason is this. His every part of it is Kwankwaso. He's consulted, but he didn't use consultants as most people do.
Oh, so he wrote himself?
He did most of the work. He was chairman of the committee. And I tell you, even
so
as
he participated in the writing of this manifesto.
He was chairman. I'm just going to tell you that.
So it's not like he paid some professors to put up grammar together for him.
As a spokesperson, I didn't get to see the complete version until after it was launched.
Let me quickly jump on this call. People are itching to hear from me, but hello, good evening.
Pretty precious.
Mr. Darlington, good evening.
How are you?
I'm fine. I thought we were quarreling now. We disagreed a lot on Friday.
Now heaven go settle the matter.
You're welcome, Mr. Darlington. Always good to hear from you. Let's hear your take very quickly.
Why should I quarrel with my pretty precious? It's not possible.
You'll be making local woman blush anyhow. It's okay, Jerry. Don't be whining.
I'm not doing.
All right, so let's hear your thoughts and reaction.
It's okay. Now, precious.
Yes, sir.
If you are in a competition with somebody, are you not supposed to deploy whatever you have to leverage on the other people?
But if I think I'm way ahead of them, I probably may not need to deploy anything if I have my tactics to win.
The other P2B, he has education as his core value here. Go and look at his CV, his profile. None of the contestants can even come close to him when it comes to what he has acquired and achieved.
But people are saying that he has third class as his first degree, so it does not matter.
Hold on. Oh my God. What is third class?
Look just saying.
What he has achieved. No, look at what he has achieved now. At least this thing is on social media.
So where are we driving at now, Mr. Darlington?
What I'm saying is that he should make himself available 25 hours to any media house that will invite him. If can you give what you don't have? The other people know why they are running away now. Tinubu have never visited any media house to sit down and grant an interview for 1 hour. He has not. But he can gather market women and area boys and be insulting people. And they'll be clapping for him even when they don't know what he's saying. So Peter B should leverage on that. You cannot give what you don't have. They cannot answer critical questions before a enlightened audience. They can't. They cannot. They know why they're avoiding it. I know where they would have made themselves available if they were invited in such a place. But when it comes to enlightened media men and women, they won't stand in their interrogation. That's what is running away from. So Peter B should leverage on that so that tomorrow nobody will say he did not do. We did not hear him now. He did not talk. The other people are using their money. They are using their money. So let him use his own brain too. That is what God gave him. It's as simple as that.
All right, thank you.
He should he should not wait for them. Let them continue to dodge.
So you're not of the opinion that he should make himself scarce like the last caller said?
He should scarce for what? Scarce for what? If he makes himself scarce for what? Then what is he building on?
I appreciate. Thank you.
Yes, that is the only advantage he has now. He can speak, he can talk, he knows the issues.
Thank you. Thank you
he
so
knows
much.
The issues, yes. The other people are banking on their money. Let him bank on his own brain too. Simple.
Thank you so much. All right, Lagos. I have here my red and white capped chief. Can you explain this thing about this? Because it's looking like some people will say it's. I don't want to say it's a cult, but it's some kind of identity. Because
yes,
Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso is known for this color of cap. Yeah. At some point, even some of the flyovers he did work on in Kaduna State Kano State did have this color. So what is it with the white and red, though?
The white and red really is just an identity. Okay. And it's a political thing. Red coming way out of Nigeria. Firstly, Kwankwaso was a student and a follower of Aminu Kano.
Okay.
And the late Aminu Kano was known to be one who fought for the masses.
Okay.
We're liberal Democrats. That's what we call ourselves. And it's a party, the NNPP now. And of course, the Kwankwaso movement is a party that has mostly a lot of the working classes, the people of the lower end of the ladder, who feel that government has left them behind. Government is not for them. The color red is for freedom, sort of. The white is for purity, because we have certain things that we believe in, which are actually here. Objectivity.
So let's jump on it very quickly. Just in summary, let's summarize entire blueprint. What does it say?
In summary, what he does is that he summarizes his pledges to Nigerians, and there are about 20 of them. And then, apart from that, he goes on and takes each one. And
20 pledges to Nigerians.
Basically, which summarizes everything.
Okay.
And then he goes on to take each one or each area, says my commitment to you. Regarding,
so he does not just promise.
Yeah.
He made a commitment.
Yes, commitment to you regarding security.
Okay.
Commitment to you regarding education, etc., etc.
Okay, so let's take them.
Commitment to you. He now goes on to talk about the plan, about how he intends to move in that field.
Okay.
And at the end of each chapter, he goes on to talk about projections.
Quite detailed.
Basically, yeah.
Quite detailed. Like so let's take this commitments or these pledges one at a time.
Basically,
first of all, the most important of them all is security. Everyone wants to know how they can sleep with their eyes closed, how they can travel from one part of the country to the other, without fear of being kidnapped or even saving money for ransom ahead of time. So let's see.
When even yesterday at the town hall, he spoke about security. Yesterday's town hall was about security and the economy.
Exactly.
He spoke about security and basically put, because of what we're facing now, and you will recall that Rabiu Kwankwaso was Minister of Defense for 3 years under President Obasanjo.
I do know that.
He has experience in the field, and he has many friends that are in the security sector. Basically, what they're saying is this. One, we have about 300,000 plus policemen to 220 million people, highly grossly inadequate.
I noticed he said that Nigeria was underpoliced.
We have 250, just under, military combined. That's Army, Navy, and Air Force combined. Again, to population of 220.
Absolutely.
So what they're saying, and with the problem of insurgency, banditry, and all the problems that we have, no part of the country is safe at the moment. He made a commitment. He said that he will bring this under control within 12 months.
How did he intend to achieve that?
Now,
How does he intend to achieve that?
The first thing that we said was that we would have a surge. What is a surge? I'm the one that put the name there. He didn't say that. What it is that he's going to populate the security services, DSS, Army,
so
and
employ more people. Okay.
Now,
so just hang it. Okay. Let me let you land.
You see, your next question is going to jump. We won't talk about security.
Okay, so let's go
because
ahead.
you are going to say, how is it going to fund it?
Not just that. I think you're reading my mind, but that's not exactly
what
what's in my
everyone
mind.
says.
Okay, so let's go ahead.
Because if we jump to that, we'll forget the actual security blueprint.
Let's move on.
Basically, what they're saying is, you populate that. When you populate that, you are able to occupy the space. Every area that these bandits will run into and do whatever you'll do. This is similar to what the United States and the Allies did in Iraq and at a time in Afghanistan. When they wanted to bring it to an end, they brought in more troops. They didn't take them away.
So they were saturated.
Exactly. Now, when we do that, we will have a forest force, coastal guard. I know there's a navy. You have coastal guard, forest guard, border guard. The Nigerian borders are porous, as it were today. They're porous. Now, once you have all these people on ground with technology, in the short term, we make bold to say, using drones, using whatever. Then, for instance, your insurgents will not be able to come in from Cameroon, go into Adamawa, come back out after committing atrocities. You understand? Same thing, Niger State, not Niger State, Niger Republic, etc. So we are going to work with our neighbors. And remember, most Nigerians will not remember, Jonathan actually tried to do that. And it was slightly successful towards the end of his tenure. He worked hand in hand with the neighboring countries, so that if the Boko Haram were moving from Nigeria, they were chased there, they would be met at the border by the troops of Niger, what have you. So that is it. We intend to use a lot of technology. Now, the security architecture of Nigeria at the moment is geared, hasn't been changed. It's geared towards protecting the country from external aggression. But it has changed now. The problem has changed. Not just
it's more internal now.
God bless you. Internal aggression as well. So we have to improve and increase intelligence gathering.
I want you to finish it because I can't wait to ask you questions.
Okay,
I just let you just pour out your heart and all that. So
start asking.
Quite a number of questions to ask. First of all, I would say other presidential candidates had come out to say, like someone like Peter Obi had come out to say that he believes that if the issue of the economy is handled squarely and people have more jobs and more food on their table, insecurity would have been tackled to at least a reasonable extent. What is your what's your principal's take on
my principal's
improving the economy as to a means of handling insecurity?
No. It's a symbiotic thing. If there is no security in the country, who will come to invest? If I come to you tomorrow morning and say, Precious, forget the radio program, I think that there's an opportunity for us to go and do something with gold in Zamfara. What's the first thing you say to me?
But just hanging there in the same time,
exactly.
in the same space, if a man is so hungry he doesn't have a job to do, it still also leads him to
what we're saying is this. You understand? And even Peter Obi was on the same page with Kwankwaso regarding this yesterday.
I noticed.
You understand?
I noticed.
So
I saw those reactions.
The thing there is, you want to revamp the economy. When we want to talk about the economy, I'll say that. Okay. You are going to start to do that immediately.
So you'll be improving the security. So you'll be improving the security and revamping the economy at the same time.
Exactly.
Okay.
You can't just do.
It's okay. It's okay. So my second question would be, what is then his take on state policing? Understanding the drama that has been going on over the years with state policing, because I know I did hear you mention, spreading the apparatus of the, policing of Nigeria to the nooks and crannies of town, more like it. So how possible is that without the presence of community or state policing?
Now, we have something which is even better, because it is so radical, and it is going to feed everything else. It is called the community reorientation, community participation and reorientation committees.
Okay, now, so maybe help me hang in there. Let me take a few more calls because my phone lines have been buzzing non-stop. Hello, good evening to you.
Yeah, Precious, Darlington, I'm back.
All right, Mr. Darlington, you're so lucky that is your call I had to take again. Good evening to you. Welcome.
It's okay, dear.
That lucky charm you carry around whenever I'm here, that's so good. So go ahead. Let's hear. Do you have a question for the Kwankwasorians, as they call themselves?
Exactly. Before I make my submission, I want to ask him a question. I wish Kwankwaso is on the studio now.
He will be someday, don't worry.
During the time of Jonathan, Jonathan wanted to give Nigerians a very scientific or proper census, and he appointed Festus Odimegwu to do that job. And the man looked at it and said he went all over the world and, brought the authentic and the scientific way of doing census, population census, that is acceptable and is prevalent all over the world. And he said that what he saw when he met is, that it is a fraud. The last census was a fraud. And that's why the thing is on the shelf there. Nobody wants to talk about it. He went and told Jonathan, he was all over the media saying what he saw and how he's going to carry out the census. Immediately, Kwankwaso heard about this. He drove himself all the way from Kano to Abuja. I went to Jonathan and told Jonathan, if you want second term, remove this Festus. Remove him from being the census chairman. Maybe he has taken a lot of beer where he's coming from because he was chairman of 33 Brewery. Remove him. That was what he told Jonathan. And because Jonathan is a Democrat, he obeyed him.
So your question, sir?
They removed him, and second time, Jonathan did not get. What I'm asking, a man with such mindset, does he mean well for Nigeria? By the way, where was Kwankwaso and other letter leaders when 80% out of the 20 million out of school children are from the north? Where were they? When are they convert a meeting of letter leaders to address that issue? Jonathan built Almajiri schools in the north to mop up all these out of school children. That is causing a problem now. What did the northern leaders do? You see, the thing that we don't know. Every time they'll be campaigning with the problem they created. All this insecurity, where is it coming from? Is it not the same children they refused to educate many years ago that is causing this problem? Where we are not leaders when this thing was green, and we are telling them, they didn't take us serious. This same 20 million out of school, but in the next 20 years, they will continue with where their brothers stop. So, except they did not invest in education, which they don't want to, but they will send their own children abroad to go and read. Then they will be campaigning with insurgency here. Is it fair? Who created this problem of insurgency, insecurity? Who? Where is it coming from?
Thank you.
That's your question.
So where we are Kwankwaso as a minister of the former minister of the state, what did he do to address the issue before it became this large and big? He didn't talk of those ones. Every time they'll be campaigning with insecurity, which they created by themselves, which they created.
All right, thank you.
They should not come and disturb us. They should not come and disturb us.
Mr. Darlington,
thank you so much. Mr.
I think the bottom line is whether a person has his mind made up or the other, You don't just come on to cast aspersions. The bottom line is that I'm trying not to talk like he spoke. If not, I'll ask you, where was Peter Obi when IPOB was talking? You don't want us to go there. Kwankwaso, when he was governor, made sure there was an enactment regarding Al-Majiri. If there's a problem in the north, and you have someone who has been in government, who has come out, like he has and Peter Obi has, and Atikutu was there, and Emilio Kontu was there. Look at what they did. Don't just group everyone together, because everyone can begin to throw stones. We've said that we want to be focused on an issues-based campaign. Regarding the Al-Majiris he spoke about, he did that. Go and Google and see what Kwankwaso did for education in Kano. I doubt if you have anyone who's done that out of those parading themselves. The other thing there is this. You know, I'm trying not to react, because we don't want to. We just want to stick to facts. But the bottom line is this. Yes, there are Almajiri children there. They're there. Yes, the insurgency is there. We also have banditry on a high level. In the East, you cannot do anything on Monday. What are you doing about that? Talk is cheap. There are problems everywhere in this country. So let us just try to stick to it. So someone drove from Kano to say that whatever had drunk beer, maybe he was drunk, that they should remove him. I don't know who Mr. Darlington was. Maybe he was in the room with them in the State House with Jonathan and Kwankwaso when Kwankwaso was telling him that. Basically, taking it from what he said, I've even forgotten where we were.
Well, we're talking on security.
Yes. Taking it from there and security, even the Almajiri, in this blueprint, he says that there are about 20 million out of school youth.
But he was a governor of Kano State. What did he do?
Exactly.
What did he do as a governor?
I said even as a governor, he they enacted the law during his time. Go and look at what happened.
A law to do what?
To cleanse the road of the Almajiri. Will he go into Kebbi and do Kebbi and other states?
And what happened?
He did. He was very successful at doing that in Kano. Then go and look at the education of the girl child in Kano. He was the one had established 2 universities, state universities in Kano. Over 20 institutes. That's why I say go and Google it. It's there. As his candidate says, I'm saying Mr. Darlington's candidate, you say go and verify.
How do you know?
I know.
But
I
he
know,
never
please,
mentioned his candidate.
I know.
Please.
I know.
How do you know
It doesn't matter. I don't know. He too doesn't know what he's saying. You know, it's as simple as that.
It's
no.
a bit absurd for you to just quickly jump on.
Sorry. I'm so sorry. You understand? So he did all those things and many more. There are over 3,000 students sent outside the country for masters, for PhD. Not even necessarily indigents. It was strictly once you were a resident. So there were
So let's quickly, because I'm actually very interested as to what your principal stated in that manifesto concerning education. Yes. But let's quickly wrap up with that of security, and then we'll move.
The security we talk about here is not just the one we're talking about, right? He goes on to talk about food security, human security, etc., etc. And of course, the other arm of it was that that was where
I was talking about state policing and community policing.
You need the first one you said, you need to have a better economy. If the economy is there, if the students are working, if people are getting jobs, if the economy is improving, if inflation is being driven downwards, if the standard of living is going up, most people will not easily be drawn into
crime.
banditry and crime and whatever. So the whole thing is talking about moving these things
So I did
together.
also ask about his take on state and community policing, considering the fact that he's looking
I was
at
talking.
spreading.
Remember, I was talking. Now I remember where I was. I was talking about community participation and reorientation committees, which I said was a radical one, because most people would say, "Oh, are you going to get rid of the local governments?" No, but what it is that at each ward, at each level, you would have these people, and that committee would be the ones from each ward level with certain people there, including the party chairman of the opposition party, if Kwankwaso were to win. Not just an NNPP thing, you understand. A cleric, an imam, party chairman, etc. Some leaders in the ward. They are the ones that will say to you, recommend that this is a person that is good, he wants to go to the army. This is a person. Now, the same ones will be able to say to the federal government, where it concerns the federal government, in our community, we have gold, we have this, it is not being mined, it is being stolen, it is being done, this is being done. That's why I said they will feed on everything. Now, that in itself will increase intelligence gathering. It will increase. Sorry.
Go ahead.
I can't hear anything.
I can hear you. Go ahead. You're fine. Go ahead.
You can. Okay.
Go ahead. Go ahead, please.
It sounds funny. Sorry.
Sorry.
That in itself will help you take better decisions and know what to do. Now, regarding state policing, I'm not so sure that at this stage, you understand, he will be going to that. But he spoke about what do we call it? Restructuring.
Okay.
The NNPP.
So does it mean that he has hope for decentralizing the force?
He has.
He didn't state that categorically.
He didn't state that categorically.
Okay.
He didn't state that. Yes, we say we're going to reorientate, we're going to restructure. You understand? Including the security services, a new security architecture for the country. We spoke about that. We didn't jump to say outrightly that we'll have state policing. Now, we believe that with that, because restructuring, what restructuring means to you might not be what it means to me at the moment. I remember there was a vote, a referendum in Australia many years ago, whether they should move from the monarchy to a republic. And when the vote came in, the opinion polls were like, look, most people want that. But when the votes were to come in, simply put, the people voted no. And when they asked afterwards, it wasn't because they didn't want to get rid of the monarchy. It was because the alternative form of government had not been laid bare by the politicians to the people.
So let's quickly look at the funding of this. So introducing more people to this to the force.
Yes.
Considering the paucity of fund right now, we are already running on deficit. The country is poor and does not have money. Where does your principal intend to get the fund to take care of more police officers, especially considering how poorly the current people who are even working are funded, are taken care of? The remuneration is poor, their standard of living is very poor. How does he intend to improve on the standard of living of the force and then also employ more people?
Yes. There you come to the economy. How do you want to make more money? How do you want to cut costs? This program and any program will not work unless we realize that we have to cut costs of governance. Right now, your revenue isn't even enough to pay your debts. We have that problem right now. So things are really, really bad.
It's not enough to pay debt, or not even a loan, let alone taking care of our own running costs.
Exactly. You are borrowing to pay salaries. So it's terrible.
All right, Lagos. Phone lines are open, Lagos.
Now,
I'd like you to ask Mr. Kwankwaso so I'd like you to ask the spokesperson of the NNPP some questions. Should you have any for him? It is 0700 903 903 903. That's the number to call. 0700 903 903 903. You want to do him a WhatsApp message? It is 0700 903 9039. With all this beautiful idea they brought up concerning the security which you have treated right now, what do you make of it? And what question do you have? Hello, good evening to you. Welcome.
How are you? Good evening.
Well, I'm hanging in. How are you too?
I'm fine.
All right, so go ahead.
No, I listen to our guest, but before I go into that, I think it's very irritating to me for someone to come and blame Kwankwaso for good luck failure. No, it's not done. Why come here and say that shit is thing?
Can you go ahead and ask your question, please, sir?
No. I'm just concerned Kwankwaso. Okay, now, to me, my question to you is that, now, I've been looking for police to answer the Kwankwaso himself this kind of question because he didn't say it, but I'm not convinced. How is going to handle these elders and farmers? How is going to find lasting solution to this? Is he going to leave it where it is, where the farmer and the clash all over? How is going to how is the one that he has a plan to sort it permanently what farmer will do? Farm. And the other will be on one side. Not that farmer will crop all that went out to harvest.
Thank you.
They want cow will just eat it up. I got classic solution to this.
Thank you so much.
That's what I want to know.
That's an amazing question. That was one of my lineup of questions.
Yeah,
so the farmer had a
much.
clash. Did the manifesto state exactly, clearly, how he intends to handle the farmer header crisis?
Yes. Part of it is that farmers will be protected.
How?
In the same way.
Okay.
That's what we're talking about, populating the thing. And after it, hang on.
You know the reason I asked why?
Yeah.
So just go ahead when you're done. I probably will tell you why. So go ahead.
Kwankwaso himself is a farmer.
Okay.
You understand? He's a farmer. So it isn't that we're not in for herders going around and the cattle causing problems.
He would obviously still believe in the nomadic nature of the herders.
The agriculture he wants to do, including for pastoralists or herders or whatever, is modern agriculture.
Which may include ranching.
Yes.
So if it includes ranching, do you think that he will still have that wealth of support he would have in the north, understanding that that's
he will
their
have
major
that
occupation?
wealth. Look, let me tell you. If he felt he wouldn't have the support in the north, he wouldn't even be talking about restructuring.
Now, you know that the northerners,
do you understand?
Most part
he
of that
wouldn't
part of
even
town.
be talking about restructuring.
Okay.
It has reached a level in the north. You see, we sit here in the south and we just have these ideas, not knowing that the community over there, the society over there is dynamic as well. You go and talk to the youth, the northern youths now about Buhari. They'll tell you he's no longer next to God because they're hungry. The economy hasn't worked for them. They've had 7 years to know that this government has been a failure. So things have changed. Things are dynamic. And unfortunately, we have prejudices in this country.
So the reason I am raising the issue of the nomadic nature of the herders is because it's always been an issue. Even several times when it's raised in the National Assembly, people from that part of town have often made a case for the herders that it's not going to be possible to leave them in the ranch, considering the fact that most of them, their nature and their life pattern has always been that they have to move from one part of town to the other.
If you have a security problem, like we have now, if you have the political will, which Kwankwaso has, I tell you, then you have to take action.
All right.
Some of these herders come in. They come down from Mali. They come into the country
absolutely,
without being checked. And we're saying
the Benue State governor has complained that a lot of times. Let's quickly jump on this call.
We're going to put in a border force.
All right. Hello, good evening.
To stop it.
Hello, good evening. You have a question for the NNPP presidential spokesperson here?
Yes, my name is Ifeanyi. I'm calling from Somozu.
Mr. Ifeanyi, you're welcome. Go ahead with your question.
my contribution to this to the people are discussing that Nigeria is not yet right for state policing, because when they introduce state policing now, what politicians, the governors, we need to intimidate other people. So that is why they should drop the issue of state policing. Nigeria is not yet right for that.
All right, thank you so much. I do appreciate it. Okay.
Thank you very much,
So
Mr.
he's saying that
Ifeanyi.
Nigeria is not yet right
I
for
am
state
in total
policing.
agreement with you. I'm talking about as Ladipo Johnson now, not as
Kwankwaso
Kwankwaso.
representative.
I am in total agreement with you. When we are, things have to be done in stages. It's like the issue of fuel subsidy. Is another big one. People say to me, shouldn't subsidy go? And we say yes. In a way, it is so corrupt. It's working against the people of this country.
But in
But
another
you
way,
don't remove it overnight. But you have to remove it.
So let's quickly see if we can jump on. I have this call is so long. I don't think this voice note is so long. I don't think I can take it. So let's move quickly to another conversation. This message says, you see all this campaign spokes chief that is covering their master's errors with big grammars. We are listening to them. When time reach, we are going to hold them responsible. They said they will hold you responsible.
No problem, sir. Whoever sent that.
He didn't state his name. Hello, good evening to you.
Good evening, Precious.
Yes, good evening to you. What's your name and where are you calling from?
This is Elder Benjamin from Apapa.
Elder Benjamin, you're welcome. Go ahead with your reaction.
Yeah, I guess it's not. I'm not happy with him, honestly.
What did he do to you?
See, Nigeria have gone far for what he's saying. Kwankwaso is a Fulani man.
Kwankwaso is Hausa, sir. He is Hausa. Go and check it.
No. Whether
Please.
it's Hausa or not.
Exactly. Have your facts. Have your facts. Continue,
Okay,
sir.
you will react. Let me learn.
Continue, sir.
If Kwankwaso is an Hausa man, good and fine, no problem about that. But how do you think that after Buhari leave office, another Hausa man will take power again? Then what do you think other people are doing? Do you
Thank
call
you.
them a fool?
Thank you.
You don't call them a fool.
That's a good
Hello,
question, sir.
Let me learn, my brother. Look, if Kwankwaso want to contest, I'm not against that. Yes, politics is a game of interest and number. But when we are using Hausa saying that they have supporters, our Buhari have failed and everything, how do you think that Kwankwaso will not fail? If Buhari can fail, how do you think that Kwankwaso will not fail?
All right.
Then why are you projecting Kwankwaso to us?
Okay, sir.
He has the right to project him because he's his candidate. Everyone has a right to their candidate.
Good, Precious. But what I'm trying to say that if these people want Nigeria, they love Nigeria. This time around, Nigeria want peace. The peace we want is mutual understanding and understanding to carry Nigeria go ahead. If right rule, left rule. Then why is it that every time the Northerners will jump out as if the country belongs to them? We cannot continue in that way. We cannot. People should stop all this.
Thank you, sir.
The South battle it between Obi and Tinubu. Let Kwankwaso and Atiku go and rest so that we can be able to make peace in Nigeria.
No. Sir, everyone does have the right, as long as they've been certified by their parties. They have the right.
I am not saying that it's not right.
I appreciate your thoughts. Would you let him respond? I appreciate
Mr. Benjamin.
your reaction.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Benjamin, thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. May I just quickly say that Mr. Benjamin, always look at the other side, or the ultra pattern. That's my profession. I'm a lawyer. Always hear the other side. Right now, those in the North will tell you that the North has ruled 8 years Buhari, it will be 8 years next year, and 2 years Yar'Adua.
Yes.
That's 10. They'll tell you Obasanjo ruled for 8 years. Jonathan for 6 years. That is 14 years. Is my maths right?
You said 8 years, 6 years. Okay.
Precious.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. So, Mr. Benjamin, if the South rules, I'm telling you what the Northerner feels, the average Northerner. If the South is given another 4 years or 8 years, that will take the South to 24 years. We in the South are not even thinking about that. We're just saying one Northerner is going, let it rotate. Hang on.
You don't want us to go through the history of Nigeria from the beginning and those who've ruled us from the beginning.
Let me tell you something.
We could go through that.
I know.
Okay.
In the same vein, I saw a tweet. Do you understand? There was a tweet from a Hausa lady. If we go through the history of Nigeria, even the military, the Hausa has not ruled.
Who ruled then?
The Fulani. The Fulani. Now, we can say the same. We say, okay, in the democratic one, the Igbos haven't. I keep telling my Yoruba friends, when they say, it should rotate to the south and it should go to Emiloko. I always tell them, I say, even if it should rotate to the south, it should go to the east. Because from the three regions, they are the ones who haven't ruled in this democracy. But the more important thing that I want Mr. Benjamin to understand is this. When Obasanjo came in, his votes came in mostly from the north. When Moshood Abiola won his election, it was these same northerners. Yes, the south stood with him most places. Even this Kwankwaso we are talking about, you can go ask anyone. He was in the SDP then. That was when, as a young man, he became deputy speaker in the National Assembly of the House of Reps. Kwankwaso was the one that defeated the NRC Bashir Tofa, NRC presidential candidate, not in the same ward, in the same polling unit. They supported a southerner. Kwankwaso lost his re-election after his first term as president, as governor, because he was supporting Obasanjo against Buhari. And in Kano at that time, they said this man is supporting a Christian, a southern Christian. They went out and said, are you going to be voting for church or mosque? He stood there and said, no, I'm supporting Obasanjo. And he lost to Shekarau before he came back 8 years after for second term. And I'm sure Mr. Benjamin himself always says it, that Nigeria should look for competence, someone with capacity, someone who will lead us forward. When do we look for the competence above religion and ethnicity? Because if we say for now, let's just look at the ethnicity, those who are from the north or whatever should drop out, the thing should rotate here, without looking at the other issues, then the next time it will be the same thing.
So probably, you know the way you have, you know the way you have analyzed what the Northerners probably may believe and think. If we also look at the history of Nigeria for the 62 years Nigeria has been so far, in the 62 years, the North, because we're divided into two parts, for as much as we know, the South and the North. The North has ruled Nigeria for 47 years. 47 out of 62 years. 47 out of 62 years.
Fantastic.
That's a big deal.
When did we divide into North and South?
So let's go straight to let's go straight to our conversation. So we don't jump. So have we finished analyzing that of security and what your principal intends to do with security? I was asking you about the funding, how it intends to fund, but
yes, we started talking about revamping the economy. Look, if, as I said before, if you do not cut your costs, which it has to do drastically, cost of governance. Look, he's done it before.
I'm smiling while you're saying this, because if you're talking about cutting cost of governance, it has to come, because we're in a democratic system. It has to come from the legislative downwards. How does it intend to carry the National Assembly along?
Hang on. They say you always have carrot and stick approach.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be able to deal with your legislature. He was a member of the legislature anyway, in the Senate, in the House of Reps.
Absolutely.
But apart from that, you lead
as by Senator Rabiu Kwankwaso.
Yes,
anyway.
You lead by example. When he was governor of Kano, he refused. He said he wasn't taking security votes. He didn't. And he said it last Tuesday when we're launching the blueprint. He said, no security vote for me if Nigerians elect me.
Okay, so
you understand?
So
But that is
move
just an example.
Because of time, let's move quickly
Yeah.
to the next thing he said. How does he intend to handle education? Understanding the number of out of school children that we have in Nigeria. It is alarming.
His pledge is
Over
that
20
he will
million
mop
Nigerian
up
children out of school.
His pledge,
and a large percentage of them are in his part of town anyway.
of
So it's
course, in the north. His pledge is that he will mop up those 20 million out of school children
How does he intend to do that?
in the 4 years.
How does he
Now,
intend to do that?
From that age and whatever, you are talking about. The first thing to note is that he sees education as an investment, both education and health, not as an expenditure, like most politicians see it.
Okay.
It is an investment, and you have to invest in it rigorously. Now, mopping up 20 million in 4 years means that you have to build a certain amount of classrooms to cope. If you are saying you have so amount.
I noticed what he said he would do is build a certain amount of classroom every across all
every local government across
government.
certain amount of months or years, right?
So
As you are
again,
doing
with
that,
the paucity of
you are-
fund, how do you go through
Now,
all those?
when you go
because
to
those
the
are
higher
capital
level,
investments. How do you
it's
intend
because,
to?
Look, it's because we haven't spoken about crude oil theft. We haven't spoken about oil and gas. The places we haven't spoken about our taxation policies. We haven't spoken.
So does he
Do you
intend to
understand?
improve on tax? I mean, increase in taxes?
No, he intends to increase in the sense that we have to widen. So sorry. I know you're slightly under the weather. Yes.
All right, let me quickly jump on this call and then we'll get back to have you conclude that. Hello, good evening. Good evening. Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Yes, good evening. Your name and where you're calling from, please.
Yeah. My name is Michael.
Michael, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Egonzi.
Michael, go ahead very quickly.
Please, I want to ask this man that is here with you a question.
Mm-hmm.
The Somali, which tribe are they living under? Are they living under Igbos or Yoruba or Hausa?
Are we looking at that conversation now? We're looking at somebody's manifesto. Can we just leave tribal thing out of this? Please.
Unfortunately.
No, what
Mr.
I'm just trying to say
Mr. Michael,
is that
the Fulanis are
it's
Fulanis.
Hausa people.
They are not Hausa. It's like saying, okay, if I tell you, Mr. Michael,
read your tribe well. If the Fulani, there are different tribes in the north.
Mr. Michael,
right? How's
Mr.
No,
Michael,
they are not all one.
Mr. Michael.
So it's like saying someone from Delta States, someone from Urobo is the same thing with an Igbo person.
Exactly.
That's not true.
Some people will tell you in the north that Jonathan was Igbo.
If Urobo is different from Igbo, then Fulani is different from Hausa, Oga. You can go and study. Google is your friend, sir. Kindly help us go and study.
Mr. Michael, there's no problem. We're not fighting. The thing there is the Fulanis. Go and look at them from Mali, from wherever they came. They conquered everything in northern Nigeria. Usman Danfodio. The only thing they failed to conquer was that language, the Hausa language. But they conquered the Hausas with religion. The Kanuris are there. Different tribes in the north. You understand? Let's try to. I know that we have a lot of prejudice in this country. I'm not insulting you. I'm also guilty of certain things. We all say certain things. But really, if we are not able to put these things aside and think, based on facts and principles and everything, then we have a big problem. Our problem is not even the politicians.
All right, so Mr. Ladipo Johnson, let's move on. We are talking the NNPP manifesto, and you've just helped us, wrap around the security aspect. Let's move quickly to education. Okay, you already did move. We jumped into education.
Well, then we now got to one of the critical things. Now, when I've spoken about the primary, that level. You understand? When you come up a bit, what he has said, very important.
That may be the part that would interest me.
Yes. He says, we are not going to be creating or establishing new higher institutions.
So no more new higher institutions.
We are going to be paying and paying to improve what we already have. Improve the welfare of the lecturers, improve the facilities, the infrastructure, etc., etc., etc.
You have made that point, but
bring it up to proper standard.
So you've made that point, but my worry about that point is in that same manifesto, he did mention that he feels that the tertiary institution examination bodies like the UTME and JAMB and what do they call those ones after?
May I ask you a question?
The university institutions.
May I ask a question?
Before you ask me the question now, let me just get straight to my question. He said that he believes that they are making money off Nigeria as a whole lot. So he's going to make JAM free.
Yes.
And most of this, and NECO and the rest of them, and WAEC free for Nigerians. Now, considering the fact that we don't, let me let you laugh, because you don't want me to ask questions.
I want you to ask
Before
questions.
I even ask questions, you're asking me questions.
It's because of the time
So let's go ahead. Let's have you talk.
You are going to say that considering the revenue that comes in from all those places.
Not just revenue. Now, my mind was not even in the revenue.
Yeah.
My mind is in the fact that now you would remember, because one of the reasons why he wanted to make them free was because he felt that some poor students would not be able to have access to higher education because of that, which is quite valid, fantastic, amazing. And I do love it. But my concern now is when you're not going to create more universities and you're already looking at overpopulating the universities by giving more entrance, because just help me hanging a second, because when you make the examining conditions free and open, it means that more people will have access to get examined, and more people will pass, and more people will be admitted into the schools. So when we have more admissions, what happens? Where are the classrooms they will use? ASU is already battling facility issues in universities. So how does he intend to tackle that?
Because you've forgotten my first sentence on it. I said they are going to spend money to ensure that the existing facilities are made broader, can meet up to standard. And then it is not just...
Shouldn't that have been done first before making this examinations free? That's a question. Because it can't work hand in hand.
No, it can't.
It's difficult to work hand in hand. You need to create the room, the space first, before you accommodate, so that you can make a room to accommodate the space that you're creating.
The fact that...
Or the crowd that you're pushing in.
The fact that... You made a statement which I think my sister is wrong. It's an assumption. You're assuming that everyone that takes NECO or JAM will pass.
I'm not assuming.
You're assuming. You said they will automatically go inside.
No, I said more people. More people who could not afford it before would have access to write the exams. So you may have more people pass examinations. That's what I said.
The other thing we should not be sounding like is that, the financial aspect is part of what will keep them at bay, is what has been keeping them at bay. That's the reverse of what you're saying. I'm not trying to challenge you. We're just dialoguing.
Mr. Ladipo, I don't want us to get involved in this. It's fine. It's 0700 Liga, 0700 903 903 903. That's the number to call. Let's quickly see if we can jump on a few calls, and then we'll let you. We'll move to the health, which is quite important to me. Hello, good evening.
Yes. Good evening. I'm Bidemi calling from Misolo.
Your name is David.
Bidemi calling from
Bidemi, very quickly.
Bidemi.
Thank you so much for joining us. So quickly jump into the conversation. Let's hear what you have to say.
All right. My question is this: why are all those people? Let me just put it, let me be direct. Why is Kwankwaso not in the studio? Why will he send a representative to speak to people that he wants to lead?
Maybe he was just in Abuja yesterday for town hall meeting. From Abuja yesterday, he will now jump into the studio here in Lagos. And as I'm calling him Lagos, another person will be calling him in Kaduna. Another person will be calling him in Enugu. Haba. Let's be realistic now.
Excuse me, Mr. Bidemi, please, may I say something?
Yes, I'm listening. Yeah.
Please, let us look at this thing. The man is an individual. He did a presidential town hall yesterday. What's today's date? He's moving to Enugu, whatever, and cross river. He might already be on the way. The fact that's why in other jurisdictions they call people like me surrogates. I'm a spokesperson. You understand? Because we are campaigning, we will be talking every day, discussing issues. I am not Kwankwaso, but you will hear from him during the campaign. People heard his views last night. We're talking about his blueprint. So if some people are running away and hiding from press conferences or from interacting with people, he is not. But you cannot say that no one should go to a radio station or newspaper or television except the candidates. He's not running for councillor. Even councillor cannot go to everywhere in his ward. You understand? That's why that's what Precious was trying to say. You know, it's I understand where you're coming from. I understand where you're coming from.
I know you are not the one that will be our leader. Let's just wait and see what happens. Thank you, sir.
I appreciate
Thank you.
your
No
thought.
problem.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So yeah, let's quickly move on. You see, Nigerians are more aware. Nigerians want to hear more, want to be more involved.
I pray
and we
that
appreciate
they
that.
get more involved. I pray that they collect their PVCs. I pray that they go and vote. No matter who you want to vote for, make sure you participate. You know what you were saying earlier, Precious? In Australia, the law is that once you are registered, you must vote. You cannot say you are not interested in the people contesting. There's always an option which says none of the above. So that they can say 90-something% voted, this man won, this woman won, but
so people said
none of the above. Maybe more people said none of the above than those who voted for the winner. So they know. But in Nigeria, as you say, you have voter apathy. But I really pray that this time will be different, that it will be better, that people will come out and participate. You see, the problem there is that it is not the politicians are a big problem in this country, but the followership itself. We, the people, I know the people listening will say, no, you are not part of us, you are part of the politicians. But I see myself as part of the people. We, the people, are a big problem. Because if you continue to drive one way, you continue to do the little things that are wrong knowingly, then the big things will not fall into place. We need general reorientation in this country. God will not come down. It is the people, we the people. And I'm happy that people are asking questions, because we have to hold our politicians and hold our leaders. We must task them and also make sure we keep them on their toes when they get in.
All right, so very quickly, let's look at the health stuff. Lagos, I'm so sorry. Sincere apologies if you hear me sounding a bit nasal. That's because I'm a tad under the weather. I'm hoping that I'll get better in a couple of days. So, moving forward, what is the stake on how to handle the health sector? I'm very particularly interested in health tourism. You know, if you had anything to say about that.
Health, education, as I said. Remember, I said investment. The moment there are places we want to invest in, they become. We're opening up for health tourism. Because for instance, in the UK, education is one of the biggest tourism. You understand?
That is what it's what drives a lot of revenue in the
Precious,
UK.
Don't even go to the UK. Do you know how many students in Nigeria, how many youth go to Cotonou?
To Benin Republic here. It's amazing. So let's hear what your blueprint says about the health sector.
The health sector. Primary health care and everything. It also involves investing in this sector, encouraging the training. We're not training enough doctors, and we're losing them by the day
quite a number
to
of
Canada, to different places. Same thing with your nurses. You understand? Then you're talking about equipment. we have said that we are going to bring in people to invest in all these sectors as well. And as you are coming, you are also coming with technology transfer to make sure that you, the technical aspects of it, Nigerians can take over within a certain period of time.
All right, so I think I should, make it more, conversational with Lagosians. Let them call in. You've at least mentioned key sectors. We did health, we did education, we did security. I'm sure I'm interested in economy too, which is another very vital.
That's the most complicated
exactly.
one.
So, but I'm sure people would have to ask you that question about the economy, or maybe you use that to wrap up your thought. So, Lagos, officially the phone lines are open. Please, let's take as much as the calls as we can take as possible. 0700 903 903 903. That's the number to call. 0700 903 903 903. If you're doing us a WhatsApp message, it is 0700 903 9039. Hello, good evening.
Yeah, good evening, Precious.
Oh, good evening.
There is something your guest said that I really want to address.
Mr. Darlington, are we back to that?
Yes.
Okay.
He said he was counting how many years the North have ruled and the South have ruled.
In this
Precious.
democracy.
Did he remove that of Shagari? That of Buhari?
He mentioned only democracy. Mr. Darlington, can we move on? Ask him questions about the manifesto.
We want to move on, yes. No, if you don't let the foundation for this thing, we will not go anywhere. And this is one of the things I don't like about northern leaders. Whenever it has to do with election, they will forget what they have done and be presenting good pictures. This thing is telling me here now, Buhari said it. Precious, Buhari said it.
No, but it's okay. We actually did clear that. I made him understand. I made him understand that in the 62 years of Nigeria, that the North has actually ruled for 47 years. I did give him that statistics. Do you want me to break it down? I can actually go ahead and break it down.
Good, please. What has the North benefited from this leadership for 47 years? Why is the North why is the North where it is now, academically, economically? Why? Let the northern leaders explain to me before I will listen to them. 47 years, nothing to show for it. Every time, whenever it has to do with election, they will come and be campaigning. But to repair their house, they will not. They will never repair their house. Can't you remove the log of food in your eye before talking of another speck in another person's eyes? What will the Kwankwaso come and do today? Because as of today, Buhari has made it possible that we are servicing debt with 108% of our earnings. Precious, 108% of your earnings is for servicing debt. What CBN is doing now is to be printing money. And Kwankwaso is coming to do wonder. Is he a technocrat?
Fantastic. You have a point, sir.
Thank you,
Mr. Darlington, unfortunately, you are letting me go into all these things. Let me tell you, who has mismanaged the value of the Naira? What is another Igbo man or Southerner coming to do if Emefiele has managed us the way he has managed us? What is any Nigerian going to do? Because there are some Nigerians that are drug barons. So are we all drug barons? Let us move away from this. If you do not want to vote, do not vote. If you feel that one of the southern candidates are better...
I'll quickly jump on another call now, please. Hello, good evening. Help me turn up the volume on your radio set, please. Hello, good evening.
How are you? Obina is fine.
Obina, very well. Thank you. I'm very well. Go ahead. Welcome.
All right. How are you, my dear?
I'm hanging in. I'm not too well, but I'll be fine. Go ahead.
All right. Nigeria is 3 years old now.
Is it Nigeria is what?
I say, I want to ask you a question.
Go ahead.
Nigeria is how many years now?
Is it not 62 you just clocked?
62 years.
You want to ask me?
62 years old.
Yes, sir.
Yes. 63 years old now, where we are pampas.
Can we go, if you have a question concerning the manifesto you've heard, please, can we just quickly talk on the manifesto?
No, I don't want to know. What is happening in Nigeria?
That's not my question to answer. Apologies.
Nothing is not a coup. What is happening? talking rubbish or whatever. What are you people saying there?
All right, apologies. I have to let you off the phone. It's 0700 903 903 903. I have quite a couple of reactions on WhatsApp here. This says, Precious, please, needs to fact check NNPP's claims that his principal didn't receive security votes. Sam Kwankwaso himself claimed to have left funds in the state account, but records have it is false. He actually left in excess of 300 million debt for the state. That's what this person is saying.
Let me just say,
we will
when he said he left funds, he said he left funds in the account of a project, something $1 million, and that was the project.
So how come the state was in debt of about 300 million by this?
Let me not give you the figure. Kwankwaso met the state. Let's say he met the state in 60 billion debt, and left the state
in 300 million debt.
No.
So he had paid up a bit. Okay.
He paid up. He didn't borrow. They can go and check it. He didn't borrow during his term from any financial institution.
All right, let's quickly jump into the next call. Hello, good evening.
They should go and check it properly.
Hello, Precious. Good evening.
A very good evening to you, sir. Welcome.
Yes, my name is Tony. I'm calling from Iowa.
Mr. Tony, you're welcome.
I say good evening to the gentleman in this studio.
Good evening, Mr. Tony.
I want to ask you, do you think it would be proper for the presidential candidate as well as your own presidential candidate to make public their tax payments, the source of their wealth, and declare the assets that they have? That's number one.
Okay.
Number two question. No country industrializes without a steel company working. Way back in the 80s and 90s, we had steel rolling complexes or companies all over the country. There was one in Kaduna, one in Jos, one in Oshobo, and some other places. You will notice a kind of what I would call a conspiracy. First by Russia, second by India, to reactivate the steel complex at Ajaokuta.
Ajaokuta Steel Mill.
Nobody talks about this thing. And sometimes spokespersons of different political parties will be talking as if they are just gifted students who can answer all questions. We cannot industrialize in Nigeria if Ajaokuta will never work, or the other steel rolling complex. Nobody talks, no presidential candidate talks about that. It pains me when I look at the community and see keke all over the place. See generators from every house to every house. We are not making bikes as well. How can we develop when we are almost, in chains? One of the things I learned growing up is that you either borrow technology or you steal technology. Please, can you address these issues? A country's industrialization or development is measured population-wise, what they call per capita ingot of steel, head of the population. Thank you very much. I'm Chukachu de Otoni. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank
All right,
you,
so
Mr.
just based on what he said, I do remember very well that there was a huge complaint recently of Nigeria spending over 1 trillion in the importation of steel, while we have spent over 21 billion naira in the Ajaokuta steel, and yet it is still unfunctional. So would you like to quickly respond to that?
Yes, that is one. First thing, Mr. Tony, yes, I feel that people should declare their assets. There's nothing wrong with that. They should, and they will anyway. Whoever wins has to. You understand?
Including their tax clearance as another thing.
Yes, they should. The law, however, doesn't say they should declare their taxes. But yes, they should. There's nothing wrong with that. Industrialization, look, we're all, and Mr. Tony, you say this, I don't know, I didn't know that it was an endangered species when they asked me to be a spokesperson, because I'm not a consultant like some of my brothers. I have been with Kwankwaso since 2013. I'm the Kwankwasia coordinator in Lagos State. But basically, I don't believe that I'm here to answer all questions or that I know everything, contrary to what Mr. Tony said. I've never alluded to that. But basically, We need to reindustrialize. We need to get serious about it. It is a shame the amount of money that has been wasted. As you said, in the Ajakuta Steel, not just the Ajakuta Steel. Look at the amount of money that has been wasted in the refineries as well, saying that they're fixing them, turnaround maintenance and what have you.
And we're still importing.
We're still importing. So we've wasted so much money. And therein lies your answer. I keep saying it. When we're talking about blocking wastages in government, Nigeria is a wealthy country. You know the amount of gas we have.
And we're flaring it.
Nigeria
All right,
is
I'll get back to that.
wealthy-
Let's quickly take this call because it's time for our listeners to participate in this conversation. Hello, good evening to you. Welcome.
My name is James from Festac.
James, where are you calling from? Okay, Festac. Yeah, go ahead. So let's hear you.
I would like to thank Kwankwaso's spokesman. Like me, man is a very somebody. People can be annoying sometimes. Like appreciating about this 2023 election. For me, Nigeria has failed to do like woefully. The best thing there is your person there.
I don't understand. In fact, we're finding it difficult to hear you. Your line is popping. You said what happened to Nigeria election?
Now this is like if
Well, your line is breaking. I probably would have to let you go. Your line is breaking. You can call back if you want to, please. Apologies. So the phone line is still 0700 903 903 903. That's the number to call. And then this message from WhatsApp says, "Prayer, good evening to you and your guys. I'm enjoying your program. Please leave all these politicians alone. They are the same people, set of people, rescuing us every time when there is election. You put disturb them every time when there is election. All right. Hello, good evening to you.
Hello, good evening.
Yes, good evening. What's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm Emmanuel, calling you from Bokno.
From Bokno?
Yes.
All right, Emmanuel, welcome. Go ahead.
I want to clear some air.
Okay.
You know, the first time that Mr. Darlington called, your guest, as he responded to him by, if P2B were there and IPOP were doing, why can't P2B give advice to the IPOP?
Can you go ahead and ask your question? Can we leave the back and forth, please?
Let me land, please. I want to make this statement because it's very, very important. Every Igbo man believes that Nigeria is a blackmail to his destiny. That is why we are agitating for Biafra. And we all believe that when this Biafra is being actualized, every man will be given an equal respect. And every man will actualize his dream no matter what. You understand? Nigeria to me is a darkness to my destiny.
All right. I will have to cut you off at this point. I will not let you say this on a live radio, and you understand why. It's unacceptable for you to say this on a live radio. Thank you so much. I do appreciate your thoughts and reaction. 0700 903 903 903. That's the number to call us with. Please ensure that you keep your conversation very civil because you're on live radio. Hello, good evening. Help me turn down the volume on your radio set, please. Hello, good evening.
Good evening, ma'am.
Yes, please.
Good evening, Lady P. Yeah.
Anyone you like, go ahead.
Yeah, I called earlier, you know, but I've been listening since that time I came into my house because personally I'm interested in this Nigerian project. But I must say that I have some big respect for your guest. I'm not sure I've had him before. I'm not saying it for. I'm not asking him to come and buy me some drinks, but. I have some big respect for him because he tried, you know, under pressure to control the situation. This is one of the qualities of a leader. You know, I mean, the bombs were thrown at him, but he was able to calm down and still manage it. But I'm asking a question. I want to ask him a question as an insider. I personally, sorry, this is my personal opinion. Please, nobody should hold me down for it. I have this respect from time for this man called Kwankwaso. I may not know much about him, but I don't know why I have this soft spot somewhere in me. Even I keep telling my wife. So my question is it possible for Kwankwaso to team up with Obi? Because you can see that two of them appear to be having something. Even when they were talking yesterday, some of them were referring to two of them. You can see the references they're making to two of them. They have some likings. They have some interest. Can they come together? Maybe is it possible for Kwankwaso to be for instance, maybe chairman of the party of Labour Party or whatever party they're going to form, and allow Obi to be the president, and two of them or three of them with that work together? Do you think it's possible?
All right, Mr. Ladipo Johnson, would you like to respond to that very quickly? React to it.
Thank you very much, sir. Unfortunately, when that issue came up, the talks broke down. I was fortunate to have personally been one of the people in the talks. We had three from each side. From our side, we had Buba Galadima, Senator Bafa, myself. From the Labour side, we had my friend, he's my very good friend, the Labour National Chairman of the Labour Party, Abure. The DG of the campaign, Donyo Kupe, and Senator Victor Ume.
Victor
Ume, yeah. They came in and they actually approached us that they wanted them to work together.
So what actually transpired? You just very quickly, because it's taking you a lot of time. There's no time. This is live radio. So
okay.
Would you let us in into what really happened and why that union didn't work?
What happened was that we said to them, okay, what criteria? Let's look at what each person has done politically. You understand? And let's have a matrix. But on the other side, one of them the senator was like, look, I was in the Senate with Kwankwaso. Politically speaking, Kwankwaso is more senior. But for the sake of the country, let an Igbo man rule. Team up. You understand? So they removed it from going from criteria,
from CV
to sentiments. And the problem there was that, unfortunately, that was the statement Kwankwaso was making at the beginning that people misunderstood, that he said, Igbos will never rule. That's not what he meant. The problem there was that the Igbos, not just the Igbos, don't get me wrong, but I'm talking now about the Igbos, or the base of Obi, were very passionate. They would not have stayed with him if he had said, I'll be vice president. In the same vein, as I was saying earlier, that Mr. Darlington and others disagree with.
So in other words, it was a situation where Kwankwaso is insisting that he wanted to be the president and Obi to deputize him. And you thought that the Obi people may not have agreed to for him to deputize.
Hang on. It's not. Don't put it that way.
You're not speaking in clear terms. You have to speak in clear terms.
Okay. You are not listening to me.
Okay, I'm listening, but I want to understand.
That the problem was mostly, I would say, the problem was from the supporters.
Okay.
Not the two individuals.
What about the supporters?
Because the supporters were like presidency or nothing else.
So both supporters wanted presidency or nothing.
Exactly. You had people who said, "Look, a Southeasterner has not been president. For the sake of the country, let it happen."
Was Kwankwaso at any point going to soft pedal and say, okay, for the sake of peace, let me support P2B to be president and I will deputize him? Did he at any time agree and let it be that it's the supporters that insisted that no, we don't want that? Did his body language in any way
if you come
tilt
to me,
towards that direction?
Hang on. If you come to me and you say you want us to work together, and I say,
so Kwankwaso expected him to come down.
Let's sit down and talk. It shows good body language. The fact that the talks even happened was good. Another problem we had, when you have political things like this, you have enemies, political enemies everywhere. I'm not saying they're coming to kill you. Unfortunately, as with the Obi thing and my friends, the young in the Obi camp, as we started, they started tweeting about it. So even those that we wanted to team up against
already knew that there was a team up.
It was part of what,
and it was supposed to take them by surprise,
exactly.
right?
Was part of what spoiled
the
everything.
element of surprise was off it already.
We saw it on Twitter. My closest friends didn't even know I was in such a meeting.
Oh.
Of course, I was the youngest person in that meeting.
So the Obi team, the Peter Obi team should be held responsible.
No, I'm
for
not saying hold them responsible.
Acting so swiftly.
They are still our friends. We are friends. Now, I've forgotten the man that called. The thing that is still possible, sir, is if for the first time in Nigeria, which we're beginning to think might be possible or might happen, if there is no clear winner after the first ballot, then the first two will go into a simple majority election. And I can see that, of course, some parties would quickly
move their support
together for that second ballot than some other parties. So that is why we keep saying, you see, a lot of supporters don't understand.
Okay, but just moving forward, do you see your principal, Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, in any way working? Would he in any way accept to deputize Peter Obi should that opportunity
is gone? Try to understand.
But I'm just saying. Just throwing a wild card. Really, would it ever happen? Would he really, obliged to doing that?
Well, I'm sure he would.
You have to take off your red cap to answer me. It's fine. So, do you see that happening in any way?
Well, unfortunately, that time has gone.
All right. Let me take more calls.
Yeah.
I see that you don't want to answer me in clear terms if it's a yes or a no thing, because it could be a no. It doesn't hurt anyone if it's a no. So.
I don't want to say it's a no if it's not, and I don't want to say yes if it's not, because it's a question I'd have to ask him. But what I saw that he was willing to talk, and if it gets to that stage that we're talking about, we all have to talk. But what I meant by it's too late is that if it gets to that stage and Kwankwaso is the first or second, or Peter Obi is the first or second, and they have to talk, then they talk. Then I'll say, okay, this person here, this person there.
All right. Hello, good evening to you.
Government together.
Hello, good evening.
Yes, good evening. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Yes, please. Good evening.
My name is Akolite.
All right, go ahead very quickly. We're about to wrap up the show.
I love all what your guest is saying about Kwankwaso. I so much loved Kwankwaso. But the problem I have with the politicians in politics in Nigeria, the politicians, is the willingness to do what is in their manifesto. That is the problem I have. They don't have the willing to do what is their manifesto.
Exactly.
Or is it that after the election and you won, the manifesto will be thrown?
Thank you. I get your point, but I will not have time. Let me marry this question he asked with some questions I have here waiting for me on WhatsApp. This says, this same manifesto, the present government told us that they would do everything, but up till now, nobody have held them accountable. Look at what happened to Lekki Tollgate some years back, and people were being killed. Nobody has been held accountable. When you want to talk about the present government, you will be told, you will be held accountable for that, because you have been speaking the truth. We don't have equal rights in this country. Igbo Yoruba House. A political recycling is anytime there is election, because Niger have. Okay, so the thing about, let me quickly just put you through on this. The thing about talking about the situations is that I cannot let you on live radio talk about agitation for secession. I would not let you. It is against the NBC rule. NBC will find the station that you're listening to. So I cannot tell you be saying, Yoruba nation would do this or Igbo nation would do that. I won't let you say that. It's against the rules of broadcasting, and I'm not going to let you say that, because if I do that, I'll lose my job. Unfortunately, it's not me, and this is me having to keep my job. All right, so Mr. Ladipo Johnson, would you quickly react to this? Because, I mean, Nigerians have heard a lot of beautiful manifestos, and that was going to be my next question. And I'd like you to respond in 60 seconds if you can, without giving us plenty, redirection and drama. Why should we believe that every single thing that Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso has written in his 150 or 58 pages of pledge to Nigerians is what he would do? Why should we believe he would do it? Because we've seen a lot of promises that have never been kept.
Very true. Why should we believe it?
Yes.
We need to believe. Firstly, you look at the person's track record, antecedents.
We also looked at track record in 2015 election, and we thought they had good antecedents. Yes.
Look, you look at it. In 2015, you said 60 seconds. You've now taken me to.
Oh yeah, sorry. So just go ahead. Sorry, let me just let you land.
Basically, what people need to do, what the electorate need to do. Most people have their minds made up. If you have your minds made up, fine. But what you need to do, if you have looking around to say, okay, who can lead us? You look at the track record. You look at the document itself and see if it's viable. Some people promised you $1, $1 to $1, and you believed them and voted. You understand? And we know where we are at today. Look at the track record, because the fortunate thing is most of the candidates have been in government before. And when you look at it, unlike what my sister said about someone said he left money is a lie, look at it properly and you see that what he said is actually a fact.
So very quickly, would you put us through as to what he said about it? How is he going to revamp our economy? We didn't touch our economy. We didn't touch it. So I wanted you to just, quickly summarize for us.
The economy is the most. Hang on, okay, let me try. The economy is the most difficult aspect. It's too deep, too technical.
Just summarize.
But basically, we have to get the monetary policy right. That's with the CBN, and the CBN is almost independent.
And how about the fiscal policy, which is its aspect?
The fiscal policy is, as we said, create a wider tax base.
So meaning taxing Nigerians more?
Not taxing them more.
Okay, how?
Taxing more Nigerians.
Okay.
Bringing them into the tax base. As they see what you are doing, there will be more confidence in the system.
Are you aware that there are many taxes that are unaccounted for?
I know.
Okay.
I know. That is part of blocking
the
wastages.
Okay.
Do you know how many so-called, what do they call them, consultants are milking money away from Nigerians and not getting into the treasury? You understand what I'm saying? So these are the things that they need to block. But back to that one, we have to target inflation targeting. They have to do things just to bring it down because the cost of living is too high. We have to realize that our market has expanded from 220 million to God knows how much.
Okay, so
African.
Very quickly, did he say anything about subsidy? Is he looking at removing subsidy?
Yes, I told you earlier, even when you didn't ask me. I mentioned it.
All right.
That we have to remove subsidy, but we know that there will be so much hardship, so it has to be done in phases or at a particular time.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Ladipo Johnson.
Thanks for having me.
Mr. Ladipo Johnson is a spokesperson to the NNPP presidential candidate.
And I thank all the callers, especially Mr. Darlington. I apologize that I lost my cool a bit, but I think that we should move away from those sentimental things. If a person is better from the South, vote for him. If that person is from Kutuwenji, vote for him if that person is better.
All right. Thank you so much. Mr. Ladipo Johnson is a spokesperson to the NNPP presidential campaign team, and he's done quite a lot enlightening us on the manifesto of the party. So I hope that you have been well informed so that you can make an informed decision come 2023 February. My name is Precious Aidis while we're drawing the curtain. Sincere apologies once more for the way I sound today. I've been a tad under the weather. I'm hoping that I'll get better, as the days progress. We'll do this again tomorrow. Remember, I'm on your radio Monday to Friday, 6:20 p.m. basically